Ladies and gentlemen, true love is often misunderstood as something flashy or dramatic, marked by constant messages, grand gestures, or endless demonstrations of affection. But real love isn't transactional. It isn't about counting the minutes spent together or tallying the efforts made on special occasions. Instead, it's about a deep emotional connection that stands firm, regardless of time or circumstance. This kind of love doesn't demand attention or validation every single day. It thrives in trust, understanding, and the silent knowing that you're there for each other no matter what. When love is genuine, it doesn't weaken simply because life gets busy or distance grows. It doesn't wither in the face of everyday challenges or change its shape to fit expectations. Real love is timeless because it's rooted in something much deeper than the surface. It's not tied to physical proximity or frequent communication. It lives in the heart and soul. The moments you don't speak, the spaces between interactions, those quiet stretches don't diminish it, they often strengthen it, proving that love isn't about quantity, but quality. Think about the relationships in your life that have lasted over the years, those that have endured hardships and time apart. What made them survive wasn't always the daily affirmations or constant contact, but a foundation built on mutual respect and emotional resonance. Even when life pulled people in different directions, that kind of love remained a silent force, a comforting presence that didn't need to be loudly proclaimed to be felt. It's the love that's felt in your gut, the one that gives you peace amid chaos. This love isn't conditional or based on performance. It doesn't say, "I love you if you're here every day," or "I care only if you do these things." Instead, it understands the ebb and flow of life. It knows that sometimes you're busy, sometimes you're distant, not because you care less, but because life demands your attention elsewhere. And yet, that love waits patiently, steady and unwavering. It trusts that the bond isn't broken by absence, but rather sustained by the faith you both have in each other. Moreover, this love respects individuality and growth. It doesn't cling out of fear or insecurity. It allows both people to evolve, to change, and to explore life's possibilities without feeling threatened. Because true love is confident, it doesn't shrink in the face of distance or time. Instead, it grows quietly in the background, knowing that when two hearts are truly connected, nothing can sever that bond. In a world obsessed with instant gratification and constant connectivity, this kind of love can feel almost revolutionary. It doesn't rush to fill silences or demand immediate responses. It values patience, presence, and the deep understanding that love isn't a checklist of actions, but a feeling that endures beyond the noise. It's the love that's there even when you can't see it, like roots growing deep underground, unseen but vital. So, when you experience a love that doesn't fade because of time or circumstance, cherish it. Recognize that it's rare and powerful. It's the kind of love that offers security, not because it controls or possesses, but because it is steadfast and true. It teaches us that the heart's deepest connections aren't based on constant contact or grand displays, but on an unspoken, enduring bond that time simply cannot touch. The most profound kind of love doesn't announce itself with loud declarations or dramatic gestures. Instead, it reveals itself in the quiet moments, the stillness between words, the gentle presence beside you, and the comfort found in shared silence. This love is felt not through noise or constant reassurance, but through a deep sense of peace and belonging that fills the heart without the need for explanation. It is in these quiet spaces that love's true power is often most clearly experienced. Love that exists in stillness doesn't crave attention or validation. It doesn't demand to be noticed or acknowledged constantly. Rather, it simply is steady, calm, and unwavering. When you sit with someone who loves you in this way, you don't feel pressure to perform or prove your feelings. Instead, you feel safe enough to just be yourself without masks or pretenses. This kind of love creates a space where vulnerability is welcomed and emotional openness is natural, not forced. In a world where loudness often equates to importance, the silence of love can be mistaken for absence or indifference. But true love doesn't need to shout. It communicates in subtleties: the look in the eyes, the gentle touch, the shared understanding that needs no words. It's the feeling that wraps around you like a warm blanket on a cold night, soothing and reassuring. Even when life gets chaotic and overwhelming, this love remains a quiet anchor, grounding you in the certainty that you are not alone. This stillness also allows love to grow in ways that noise often disrupts. When emotions are constantly expressed in dramatic highs and lows, love can feel exhausting or fragile. But love felt in silence and stillness is more resilient. It deepens over time because it is rooted in acceptance and trust, not in fleeting emotions or external validation. It's the kind of love that doesn't depend on constant excitement, but thrives in steady companionship. Many people remember the loud moments, the big gestures, the passionate arguments, the grand confessions. But it's the quiet love that stays with you long after the noise fades. It's the love you feel when no one is watching, when the distractions fall away, and it's just two hearts connecting without words. This kind of love transcends physical presence, thriving in memories and emotions that linger in your soul. Importantly, love in stillness invites both partners to be fully present without needing to fill every moment with conversation or activity. It teaches patience and understanding that sometimes the best way to show love is simply to be there. Not to fix, not to explain, but to share space and presence. This is a powerful gift, especially in a culture that values busyness and constant doing. The ability to be quietly with someone, to hold space for each other's emotions and thoughts without interruption, is one of the deepest expressions of love. This kind of love also nurtures self-discovery and emotional growth. In the absence of pressure to perform or prove affection, individuals can explore their own feelings and vulnerabilities safely. They learn to trust not only their partner, but also their own heart, knowing that their emotions are honored and valued even in silence. This creates a foundation of emotional security that strengthens the relationship. In essence, the love that is felt most in stillness is a love that transcends words, actions, and even physical presence. It's a love that exists quietly but powerfully within the heart, resilient enough to withstand the tests of time and distance. It is the love that comforts without conditions, connects without expectations, and remains constant regardless of life's ups and downs. When you experience this love, you realize it is not the loudest or most dramatic love that lasts. It is the quiet, steady, and deeply felt love that time can't touch. It's a love that speaks directly to the heart in a language older than words, understood by souls who recognize each other beyond the noise of the world. When love is truly real, it defies the limitations of distance and time. Unlike fleeting infatuations or superficial attractions that fade quickly, genuine love matures and deepens even when you're apart or when life's circumstances change dramatically. It's a love that doesn't break or weaken just because you're miles away from the person you care about, or because weeks, months, or years pass without physical closeness. Instead, real love grows stronger in the spaces between meetings, in the pauses of silence, and in the memories carried in your heart. Distance and time are often seen as enemies of love, capable of eroding feelings and weakening bonds. But this perspective overlooks the resilience and power of true emotional connection. When two people are connected on a deep level, their love becomes a thread that holds them together, no matter the miles or months apart. This bond is not dependent on constant communication or shared physical presence. It lives inside each person's heart, quietly but persistently reminding them of what they share. Think about the times in your life when you've experienced love that endured separation, whether through long, distance relationships, personal growth journeys, or periods of change. What sustained those feelings wasn't just hope or nostalgia, but a profound internal knowing that the love was real and lasting. Real love transcends the here and now. It reaches into the past and the future simultaneously. It's a timeless connection that doesn't rely on the immediacy of moments, but on the depth of feeling. Moreover, this enduring love doesn't mean it's free of challenges or pain. On the contrary, true love often faces tests that reveal its strength. Time apart can bring uncertainty, insecurities, or loneliness, but these struggles don't signal the end of love. They are part of its growth process. Each challenge offers an opportunity to deepen trust, build resilience, and reaffirm commitment, even if that commitment is quiet or unspoken. When love is real, it chooses to persist, even when circumstances seem unfavorable. This kind of love also changes with time. It evolves from the initial excitement and passion into a deeper, more profound connection. The superficial layers peel away, revealing a love rooted in acceptance, respect, and genuine care for the other person's well-being. It's a love that understands imperfection and embraces growth, both individually and as a pair. Time allows love to mature, creating a bond that is less about fleeting emotions and more about enduring companionship and understanding. Another important aspect is how the heart remembers what the mind sometimes forgets. Even when life moves on and new relationships or experiences come into play, the impact of a real love lingers. It shapes your perceptions of connection, influences how you love others, and leaves an imprint on your soul. This lasting effect is a testament to the power of love that cannot be erased by time or distance. In this way, real love is like a seed planted deep within you, quietly growing beneath the surface until it eventually blooms again when the time is right. It teaches patience, faith, and the importance of emotional depth over immediate gratification. When you trust that love can survive time and distance, you release the fear of loss and embrace a more expansive, hopeful view of connection. Ultimately, love that is genuine and true is not confined by physical presence or the ticking of the clock. It's a force that defies logic and circumstance, anchored in the soul's recognition of another. It's this kind of love that endures through the storms, the separations, and the changes, proving that what is real can never truly be lost. It lives on quietly but powerfully inside you, waiting to be felt, cherished, and honored no matter how far apart life may take you. The deepest and most profound kinds of love are often invisible to the outside world. They don't demand attention or applause, nor do they fit neatly into the pictures we share or the stories we tell. Instead, these loves exist quietly, often unnoticed by anyone but the hearts involved. What makes them so powerful is not their visibility, but their depth, a sacred connection that transcends the need for validation or recognition from others. Many people measure love by how publicly it is displayed, the grand declarations, the social media posts, the dramatic gestures. But true love isn't about spectacle. It lives in the small, intimate moments, shared glances that say more than words ever could, the gentle comfort of simply being near each other, or the unspoken understanding that bridges any silence. This love thrives in the spaces where no one else is watching. It's the kind of love that doesn't seek approval or an audience because it exists purely for those who feel it. This unseen love is often marked by quiet sacrifices and daily acts of kindness that go unnoticed but mean everything. It's in the way someone listens without judgment, supports without conditions, and stays loyal even when circumstances are difficult. Because it isn't about proving love to the world, it can be more honest and enduring. It doesn't need to be performed or packaged, it simply is. Moreover, this kind of love is deeply personal and unique. It forms a private language between two souls, a code that only they understand. It can be felt in the way one person knows the other's fears without them saying a word, or how comfort is given without grand words, just a presence that says, "I am here." These moments are priceless, yet they are often invisible to those outside the relationship. They are the true treasures of love, intangible, sacred, and lasting. The world may not always recognize or validate this love, and sometimes it may even question its existence because it doesn't fit traditional narratives or visible signs. But that doesn't diminish its power. In fact, the very fact that it remains unseen by many makes it all the more precious. It is a love that does not seek to impress but to nurture. It is steady and reliable, not flashy or fleeting. This unseen love also allows space for vulnerability and authenticity. When love isn't performed for others, there is freedom to be imperfect, to show fears and weaknesses, and to grow together without pressure. It creates a safe harbor where both individuals can be their truest selves. This authenticity strengthens the bond and makes the love more resilient to external pressures and judgments. Furthermore, because this love isn't tied to public acknowledgement, it often survives even when relationships change or people drift apart physically. The memories, the lessons, and the emotional imprint remain embedded in the heart. This kind of love becomes part of one's very identity, shaping future relationships and personal growth. It teaches that love's true value isn't in how many people see it, but in how deeply it transforms those who experience it. In essence, the love that time can't touch is often the love that no one else sees. It is quiet but profound, hidden but powerful. It doesn't seek to be understood by everyone because it exists on a higher plane, one of soul connection and heartfelt presence. It reminds us that love's greatest mysteries and deepest joys are often found in places where silence speaks louder than words. When you recognize and honor this kind of love, you begin to see relationships through a new lens. You understand that love's worth isn't measured by external validation, but by the depth of feeling and the authenticity of connection. And in that understanding, you find a love that endures, no matter what changes around you. Love that truly time cannot touch.